everyone, ready to dive into some U.S. election law.
Sounds intriguing.
Today we're tackling the SVE Act, H.R. 8281. This legislation aims to, well, ensure only citizens vote in federal elections.
Big topic.
We've got excerpts from Congressman Chip Roy's website. He's the driving force behind this.
Okay.
Plus the bill's journey through Congress, as per congress.gov, of course.
Gotcha.
And analysis from the National Association of Counties. Oh, and we even peeked into the actual text of H.R. 8281.
Wow, we're going deep.
Absolutely. So first off, who is this Congressman Chip Roy?
I'm listening.
In Republican, representing Texas's 21st district.
Right.
But get this, before lawmaking, he was a prosecutor.
Interesting.
Known for his tough stance on border security.
Ah, I see.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
His background plays into his legislative priorities.
Makes sense. Especially with this bill.
Exactly. Now, what does the SAVE Act actually do?
The million-dollar question.
Think of it like this. Currently, when you register to vote, you check a box, right? You're a citizen under penalty of perjury.
Right.
This bill wants proof, documentary proof.
So no more just saying you're a citizen.
Exactly. And it gets specific about what flies as acceptable documentation.
Like what?
Think, a valid U.S. passport, your real ID, military ID,
Okay.
things that clearly prove you were born in the U.S.
No more taking your word for it.
Right. But what about those who, for whatever reason, don't have those documents handy?
Good point.
We'll unpack that can of worms later.
Sounds messy.
But first, let's talk about the SAVE Act's journey through Congress.
The roller coaster of legislation.
It started out smooth sailing in the House, introduced, debated, bam, passed. Comfortable one, mostly along party lines, of course.
Figures.
You'd think, okay, done deal.
Right.
Nope. The Senate, not impressed.
Really?
That's where the SAVE Act hit a wall. Strong opposition.
Oh, wow.
Whispers of a veto from the White House, even.
That's not good.
Suddenly, this bill that seemed unstoppable is in limbo.
Politics, right. Always a twist.
But, and this is key, this whole ensuring only citizens vote thing, still a huge priority for House Republicans.
So it's not over.
Not by a long shot. And remember those related bills we have?
Yeah.
There's a twin bill in the Senate, S4292, just waiting in the wings.
Like a backup plan.
Exactly. But before we go down that rabbit hole, let's shift gears to a crucial perspective. The folks who'd actually implement this, local county governments.
Makes sense. The ones on the ground.
And the National Association of Counties, NACO, they have some thoughts.
And they don't hold back.
Nope, straight to the point.
Their analysis really highlights the potential burden on local election officials.
Right, imagine.
You're in a small town, already juggling voter registration.
Keeping those voter rolls up to date.
Then bam, this whole verify everyone's citizenship lands on your plate.
Yikes, talk about a logistical headache.
NACO's basically like, hold up, where's the funding for all this?
Exactly. Training, new systems, the whole shebang.
They make a good point. If the feds want this done right,
They gotta pony up the cash.
they're calling for increased election security grants.
Makes sense to me.
This isn't something you just, I don't know, wing it with.
No duct tape and prayers for this one?
Agreed.
Okay, so we've got this bill, the SAVE Act.
Right.
Big implications, unclear future.
And potentially a big burden on local officials.
Exactly. But to really get it, we gotta go deeper
Very deeper.
into the weeds, the nuts and bolts, the actual text of H.R.
The
8281.
nitty-gritty.
Ready to get your hands dirty?
Always up for a challenge.
Okay, so one thing that jumps out.
Yep.
How the SAVE Act handles those who, can't just produce a passport or birth certificate on the spot.
Right. What about those cases?
It actually requires states to have a process for this.
So it's not just show me the papers or you can't vote.
Not quite.
Interesting.
The bill talks about affidavits, needing additional documentation, a plan B.
So states would have to figure out a way for people to prove citizenship even without those specific documents listed.
Adds a layer of complexity for sure.
For sure. And here's another thing.
Hit me.
The SAVE Act would require states to be way more proactive
Proactive how?
about ensuring only citizens are on those voter rolls.
Okay.
We're talking potentially using databases from Homeland Security, even the Social Security Administration.
Hold on. Cross-checking voter info with other databases.
That's the idea.
Wow.
Raises some eyebrows, right?
Big time. Privacy, data security, all that.
It's a classic trade.
To secure elections while also, respecting people's privacy.
Tricky balance.
And it gets even more intense.
Oh.
This bill requires federal agencies to hand over relevant info to state election officials
When they ask for it.
within 24 hours.
That's fast.
Talk about a quick turnaround.
They're serious about this verification thing.
Serious is an understatement, and buckle up because here's where it gets really interesting.
More twists.
The SAVE Act lets any private citizen sue election officials
Wait, what?
if they even suspect non-citizens are being allowed to register or vote.
Whoa. That's a lot of power.
Talk about a game changer.
Could hold officials accountable, but also could lead to, politically motivated lawsuits.
Exactly, a double-edged sword.
Definitely.
And it's not just lawsuits. This bill means business.
Like consequences.
We're talking hefty fines.
Okay.
Even jail time for helping non-citizens register or vote.
They aren't messing around.
Not at all. They're making a statement.
It's a strong one.
So to recap, we've met the man behind the bill, Congressman Roy, followed the SAVE Act's wild ride through Congress,
With all its twists and turns.
heard from the folks on the ground, Nicole,
Who have some concerns.
and we even dove into the nitty-gritty of the bill itself.
Quite a journey, right?
It really has been. We've gone from what is the SAVE Act?
To, the inner workings of Congress, concerns from local officials.
Even the nitty-gritty of the bill's text itself.
We really dug deep. And honestly,
That's that.
what struck me most is how this bill highlights that tension.
Between...
Competing priorities,
Right, like walking a tightrope.
Exactly. On one side, you've got ensuring election integrity,
Making sure every vote is from a citizen.
which is like Democracy 101, right?
Absolutely. Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
But then, the other side,
Potential downsides, unintended consequences,
and the big one, disenfranchisement.
especially for communities that already, face hurdles voting.
And we can't ignore history here.
No, absolutely not.
Throughout the U.S., there have been deliberate attempts to suppress voting.
Targeting specific groups, often.
So any new law about voting access, we got to look closely.
It's a balancing act, that's for sure.
So as we wrap up our SAVE Act deep dive,
Yeah.
we want to leave you with something to think about.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about whether this bill passes.
Right. It's bigger than that.
It's about the impact. So the question is,
Go on.
will it make elections more secure? Maybe. But will it create new obstacles for eligible voters?
The ones who say don't have those specific documents easy to hand.
Exactly. And we have to be careful. Could do more harm than good.
That's the worry, right?
So where's the line? Secure elections, but without disenfranchising anyone.
Especially those who've been excluded in the past.
It's a conversation we all need to be part of. Goes way beyond this one bill.
It's about our democracy, how it works for everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So as you learn more about the SAVE Act, or any election issues, really,
Stay curious.
ask questions, stay engaged. Your voice matters.
It does. That's what makes this whole messy democracy thing worthwhile.
And on that note, that's a wrap for us. This has been The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us.